Designing your wedding cake. For most brides, the dress is considered to be one of the most important decisions the bride will make during the process of planning her wedding. Most brides also agree that selecting a cake designer and designing the perfect wedding cakes is the second most important decision the bride will make. These two items are considered to be so important because they are two symbols of the wedding which are most likely to be remembered by the guests at the wedding. Wedding guests are likely to talk about the wedding for days or even weeks after the wedding, and the two things they are most likely to talk about are the dress and the cake. For this reason, most brides feel a great deal of pressure about choosing these items. This article will provide some advice on designing your wedding cake. First and foremost, a couple should choose an experienced and reputable cake designer to assist them in designing their wedding cake. We are all for giving others a chance to break into an industry, but be honest with yourself about whether or not you would really want to take a chance on a cake designer with little or no experience on the most important day of your life. By all means, do your good deed by hiring an inexperienced cake designer looking to break into the business for your birthday or anniversary, but go with someone who has the experience you can trust for your wedding cake. Seek out recommendations from trusted sources such as friends or family members and ask for references and check these references carefully from cake designers who do not come personally recommended to you. Once you begin meeting with cake designers, always ask to see samples of their previous work. This is incredibly important because you will likely notice the cake designer has a particular style. The cakes may all be different, but you will likely notice there are some style elements which are common to many, or all, of the cakes she has designed. If there is anything about this you do not like, it might be time to eliminate this cake designer because you will not likely be 100% satisfied with your wedding cake. It is also very important to consider the overall attitude of the cake designer. Ideally, you want to select a cake designer who listens to your expectations but is realistic about whether or not these expectations can be met. This is important because the last thing you want is a cake designer who promises you they are capable of designing an outrageous cake only to have the cake crumble during your wedding. Likewise, you don't want to deal with a cake designer who is not willing to take some risks and insists you have a traditional cake when this is not what you want. Once you have selected a cake designer to design, bake and assemble your wedding cake, you should work closely with the cake designer during the design process to ensure the cake you receive is perfect for your wedding. During the design process, the cake designer should be able to provide you with sketches to give you an idea of what the cake will look like. Now is the time to speak up. If the cake is round and you want a square cake, don't be afraid to voice your opinions. If the cake uses a lot of colored icing and you want to stick to white, speak up. Most professional cake designers will not be offended and will be happy to make changes. Do-it-yourself wedding planning. Part 14. Deciding on a wedding theme will be on What's On in Sutton tomorrow.